Ok, ciao a tutti. Prima di cominciare la mia lezione sul Tower of London, vi spiego il significato di alcune parole che voi magari cercate di imparare a memoria, così mentre faccio la lezione potete capire meglio quello che sto dicendo. Dunque, BEAFEATERS è composto da due parole, beef e eaters. Beef significa bistecca di manzo, eaters viene da to eat, mangiare, e quindi mangiatori di bistecche. Traitors Gate è il cancello dei traditori. Built by, built è passato di build, che è un verbo irregolare, significa costruire, e fatto build, built, built. Andate a pagina 201 del vostro libro e trovate l'elenco dei verbi irregolari, tra cui c'è built, built, built. Costruire, quindi built by, costruito da. By è la preposizione che si usa per quando c'è un complemento d'agente. Per esempio, made by, this song is written by, was written by, questa canzone è stata scritta da. Win against, win è un altro verbo irregolare, il passato fa won, win, won, won, vincere. Io userò nella presentazione won against, vinse contro. Blood significa sangue, bloody, cruente, sanguinario, sanguinoso, viene da blood, sangue. Crown significa corona, crowning of, l'incoronazione di. Since significa da, esprime un momento nel passato che ha relazione col presente. Per esempio lo trovate sui negozi, c'è la scritta this shop since 1982, questo negozio dal 1982, vuol dire che è aperto da quell'anno e tuttora. Until e till invece sono due sinonimi e significano entrambi fino a. Must significa dovere, per esempio I must go, devo andare, you must listen to me, devi ascoltarmi. To clip invece significa mozzare, di ali si dice tarpare le ali, to clip wings. Mint invece è la zecca, quella dove si conia la moneta. To faint significa svenire, through attraverso, outside significa all'esterno, il contrario è inside. Husband marito, wife moglie, raw meat è la carne cruda, death significa morte, daughter è figlia e son è figlio. Invece qui abbiamo niece e nephew, nipotina, nipotino da parte degli zii. Invece da parte dei nonni è granddaughter e grandson. Wing significa ala, soaked significa impregnata, inzuppato. To take a photo, fare una foto, attenzione perché in italiano diciamo fare una foto, in inglese non si dice to do o to make a photo, ma to take a photo, prendere una foto. Bread significa pane, raven è il corvo, to show around significa portare in giro mostrando la città, per esempio, to show around the town, to show around the Tower of London, portare in giro mostrando la torre. Look after invece significa prendersi cura di curare. Among whom, among significa tra, noi conosciamo anche between, che significa tra due cose, among invece tra tante cose, among whom tra cui, riferito a persone. Okay, let's start with the presentation with the lesson about the Tower of London. First of all, let's see where it is placed. As you can see, it is in the north side of the Thames, the river Thames, near the London Bridge. With the Battle of Hastings in 1066, Hastings is a town in the south of England. William the Conqueror won against Herod the Confessor, and he built this tower, the White Tower, 1 year later. in 1067. The Tower of London in 1300 was like this. There is the big white tower and some towers around it. But since it was built, the Tower of London has been a fortress, a palace residence, and until 1952 it was a prison. As you can see, there is the big white tower in the middle, and there are a lot of towers all around the white tower. Today, in the white tower, there is the treasure of the queen, and here you can see the crown of the queen. The Tower of London, as I told you before, is composed of a lot of towers. There are 21 towers. It is not made of just one tower, but there are more than one tower. Here we have a plan of the Tower of London. The White Tower number 1. There are other towers: Queen's Beauchamp Tower, Tower Green, Devereux Tower, Flint Tower, Boyer Tower, Brick Tower, Martin Tower, Constable Tower, Broad Arrow Tower, Salt Tower, 21 towers. At the entrance, if you want to visit the Tower of London, you have to give your bag to a person that will check if there is something dangerous inside. The Traitors' Gate, through which a lot of people passed and never saw the outside. In this tower were executed Thomas More and the 3 queens, Jane Grey, Anne Boleyn, and Catherine Howard. They passed through this gate, and usually they never came outside. The entrance of the Traitors' Gate. In the tower were executed 2 of Henry VIII's wives. On the right we have Catherine Howard, his 5th wife, and she was executed for treason because she was unfaithful to him, and also Anne Boleyn was executed in this tower. Another queen that was executed in this tower was Lady Jane, also known as Lady Jane Grey. That was her surname, because her father's surname was Grey, but she's also known as Lady Jane Grey Dudley. Dudley was the name of her husband. As you can see, she was born in 1537 and she died in 1554. She was executed in 1544. She was very young. She was 16 years old. Known as the 9 Days Queen. She was Henry VII's granddaughter, Mary Tudor's daughter, Henry VIII's sister's daughter, Henry VIII's niece. Is it difficult to understand who she is? Okay, I will explain you better. Queen of England and Ireland from the 10th of July until the 19th of July of the same year, 1553. Okay, Lady Jane, also known as Lady Jane Dudley, she was born in 1537. Let's see who she is. Henry VII had a lot of children, among whom he had Mary Tudor and Henry VIII. Okay, Mary Tudor gave birth to Lady Jane Grey, Lady Jane Dudley, or the 9 Days Queen. She was born in 1537 and she died in 1554. Henry VIII had 6 wives. His first wife was Catherine of Aragon, but he divorced her to marry Anne Boleyn. Anne Boleyn was executed because she was faithful not faithful to him. And his third wife was Jane Seymour. Catherine of Aragon had a daughter, Bloody Mary Tudor. Mary Tudor is Catherine of Aragon's daughter, and as we can see, there are two Mary Tudors. Mary Tudor. One is Catherine of Aragon's daughter, the other is Henry VII daughter, the other Mary Tudor. So, Lady Jane is Mary Tudor's daughter and Henry VII's granddaughter. Mary Tudor, Catherine of Aragon's daughter, is also known as Bloody Mary because she was a Catholic and she executed a lot of Protestant, a lot of Anglican people. That is why she was called Bloody Mary. And Bolena gave birth to Elizabeth I, and Jane Seymour gave birth to Edward VI. As you can see, Edward VI was born in 1537, the same year then as Lady Jane. So when Lady Jane was born, they decided that Edward I and Lady Jane had to get married when they when they grew up. But what happened? Edward VI became king when he was 9, and he had a protector. His protector was John Dudley. John Dudley was a dictator, and soon Edward VI fell ill. He was sick, and so Dudley decided that he had to make a will. Doveva fare un testamento, a will, and he wanted him to write in the will that Lady Jane became queen after his death. So Dudley organized a marriage between Lady Jane and his son, Lord Gildon Dudley. Here there is the marriage of Lady Jane with Dudley, Lord Dudley, Gildon Dudley. But Lady Jane was not happy about this marriage, and she was not happy to become queen. Okay, she was not happy to become a queen because she knew that people didn't want her to become a queen. They wanted Mary Tudor, Henry VIII's daughter, Mary Tudor, to become a queen. And this is why she fainted when they told her that she was going to become a queen. Consider that she was 16 years old. She was very young, and she knew that it was very dangerous to become a queen. In fact, when they told her that she was becoming a queen, she fainted. Someone that day shouted that she had not a right to become a queen, and he wanted Mary Tudor to become queen. And what happened? John Dudley cut off his ears because he was a dictator. 9 days after she became a queen, 9 days after she became a queen, she was executed, and she was 16 years old. If you visit the Tower of London, on the first floor, there are graffitis, a lot of graffitis. Among these graffitis, there is a stone with Jane written on it, and and they say that Jane was written by her husband, who was kept in that room. Graffitis on the walls are protected by glasses. There is also a torture room, where there are some tools like this. This is a stole with ropes. They used to tie the legs and arms of the person who had to be tortured, and they pulled the ropes until the legs and the arms broke. There is another tool. Oops. This is a cage. Oops. A cage where prisoners were kept and tortured. There is also a chair with the nails that can't be considered a comfortable chair, armchair. Bloody Tower. This is the entrance to the Bloody Tower. As you can see, there is a huge, a big, a heavy railing at the top of the door, and the tourist guide said that to pull up this railing, 7 people are needed. 7 people have to pull these big ropes to pull up the railing that you can see in this picture. This is on the door, to pull up the railing. In 1483, 2 young princes, Edward V and his brother Richard, 12 and 9 years old, lodged in the tower and were never seen again. They were probably murdered by their uncle, who later became King Richard III. In 1674, workmen at the tower dug up a wooden box containing 2 small human skeletons, and they think that probably they are these 2 brothers' skeletons, but there are no evidences about it, so it's not sure they are the skeletons of these 2 brothers. The Royal Mint at the Tower of London. Between 1279 and 1812, there was a mint in the Tower of London where they coined money. The torture room was made to avoid money counterfeiter. Constable Tower. During the medieval period, the constable ran the tower, which included building maintenance. Quindi i constable erano quelli che si prendevano cura, cioè che curavano la torre. And also the building maintenance, quindi curavano la torre e anche se c'erano da fare dei lavori provvedevano a mantenere in buono stato la torre. Soldiers pay, they also had to think about the soldiers' pay, and as the royal manager was housed in the tower, there were also supervisors to keep all the king's animals. The constable was also responsible for the prisoners kept there. And here we have 2 guardians of the Tower of London. The human warders. They are the guardians of the Tower of London. They are also called BEAFEATERS. It is their nickname. Why are they called BEAFEATERS? Because they say that until the 19th century, their wage was paid in part with meat. They are guides for tourists these days. And here you can see a guardian BEAFEATER tourist guide. Let's listen to him. They always start their tourist guide near the Traitors Gate. Behind this guide you can see the Traitors Gate. Let's listen to him.
Today, any Americans here? Wow, that's most of the audience then, isn't it? Pound obviously doing badly, but doing goodly for you. Yes, I know. I want you to enjoy your time in London, and especially the Tower of London today. But folks, when you are walking round here today, I want you to just pause for a moment and look at these lovely buildings of ours, and just think to yourself for one moment, all this history could have been yours. Now do have a happy 4th of July. Do we have any Australians here today? Any Australian? Welcome home. Welcome home, folks. No need to say any more there. Do we have any Canadians in the audience? Any Canadians? Hello there, folks. I love your country. It's so beautiful. I think you are selling 150 years. Is that correct? I was over there a couple of years ago on holiday. I got through customs eventually, thanks. And I was greeted with this sign, and it said, "Drink Canada dry." I cannot remember the holiday, but thank you very much. I really enjoyed myself. Right, we better talk about some history, shouldn't we? Okay, we are now standing at the world-famous Traitors Gate. It was built on the order of King Edward I. He required a safer, a more useful entranceway into the Tower of London. You see, London in those days was an extremely dangerous place to be, where convoys could be attacked, stores stolen, prisoners set free. So he decided to use the River Thames as a natural highway. He ordered that the whole be knocked into the outer defensive wall, so that at high tide boats could pass through, unload their cargoes in safety. It was originally known as the Watergate. Yeah, we had one first. Now, having breached the hole in the outer defensive wall, he soon realised he'd weakened his defences, and he ordered that a tower be built over the top of the archway. He had this tower named in honour of a former constable of ours, St. Thomas a Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Okay, don't trust the sottotitoli, because sometimes Google can't understand what they say, so there are mistakes. Okay, the Beefeater also are tourist guides, but very special tourist guides, because their guides are very interactive. They tell jokes, they ask questions, and visitors can answer or participate to the guide. In the tower live 7 ravens, and the Beefeaters have to look after them. The ravens, there are always only 7 ravens, and the Beefeaters have to feed them, to look after the ravens and feed them. They eat 170 grams of raw meat a day, 1 egg a week, fried bread, bird biscuits soaked with blood, and an occasional rabbit with fur. They take tourists around, they show the tower around to tourists, and they have to take photos with the tourists, and they look after the ravens. As you can see on their uniform, there is a E2R, that means Elizabeth II reign. A legend says that if ever ravens leave the castle will fall down. So what do they do to prevent that ravens leave the castle? They clip their wings. So these ravens can't fly. They can jump, they can fly just for a little time, but they can't fly and leave the castle. If you want to visit the Tower of London, you have to pay a ticket. An adult ticket is £25. As you can see, it's not very cheap. This is the end of my lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I'm going to give you some questions. I ask you some questions, and if you want, you can answer to my questions and send the answers to my email. My email is dirienzosantina at gmail.com. If you send me your answers, I can answer to your email with the right answers and the mistakes. First question is, where is the Tower of London? Second question, who built it? Third question, when was it built? Fourth question, until when was the tower used as a prison? Fifth question, what can you see in the Tower of London? Sixth question, how many towers are there in the Tower of London? Seventh question, what is the Traitors' Gate? Question number 8, how many queens were executed in the Tower of London? Number 9, who was Lady Jane Grey Dudley? Why was she called the 9 Days Queen? Question number 10. What happened to the person who, on the day of the crowning of Lady Jane, said that Mary Tudor, Henry VIII's daughter, had the right to become queen? What happened to this person? Question number 11. Who wrote Jane on the stone in the Tower of London? Question number 12. Who killed Edward VI and his brother Richard? Question number 13. Why are the guardians of the Tower of London called BEAFEATERS? Question number 14. What do the guardians have to do in the Tower of London? What is their job? Question number 15. What does the legend say about the ravens living in the Tower of London? Question number 16. How much is an adult ticket to visit the Tower of London? And the last thing that I ask you, if you watch at the first slide at the beginning of this presentation, I ask you, if you want, to write a sentence using each of the words that I introduced you. You can use sentences taken from the presentation, or you can invent other sentences. You can send your answers to me using my email, dirienzosantina@gmail.com. I will write these questions as a comment to this video. Okay, bye bye.